What's up guys, Omni here. You guys know how it goes. Another day, another video. Last night I tweeted I sleep. What recent news, topic, tweets, videos you want me to talk about tomorrow? Yeah, that's right guys, we're making a video on a Friday. I know yesterday's video was pretty fast and high paced. If you didn't watch it, you should go watch it. Let me know what you think about that. Today we're gonna slow down a little bit, okay? I'm playing around with some things, okay? I'm not gonna explain, all right? Just hang out, all right? If you feel it, you feel it. There was a couple people in the comments yesterday who were kind of like, whoa, this feels a little bit turbulent, a little groovy, a little bit different, okay? Just enjoy the ride and you guys can give me feedback as things go by. I'm doing things. But before we get started, I do want to say guys, happy December, because I don't think I said it last time. Congratulations to making it to the last month of 2025. I know. Crazy, right? Didn't expect for us to be here, but we are here, man. January 2025 and all of the nonsense that's happening for the past year, at least in the United States, has been absolutely wild. But seeing the progression of this year and realizing that we made it here and we're still trying to live for Grand Theft Auto, but it keeps getting delayed. I don't know, man. The world is weird. There's something in the air. And again, I think it was ever since COVID, every freaking year to me, at least, has felt like it has been just getting strangely bizarre. We are in bizarre times. That's probably the best word that I can describe the past couple of years. Bizarre. Anyway, let's jump into today's news. Today, we're going to do a little freestyle with it. We're just going to go ahead and surf the internet and I'm going to find some of the things that have been happening today and yesterday and keep you guys updated in real time. But technically not in real time, but here in real time, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Time traveling. God damn. Okay, I already checked out some of the news things that's been happening since yesterday and today, and there's a lot. We have a lot to freaking talk about. A lot of big announcements, okay? Wario 64 and a lot of people were talking about this. It says Netflix confirms it will acquire Warner Brothers, including its film and television studios, HBO Max and HBO, for about $82.7 billion after separation of Discovery Global, which is expected to be completed in Q3 2026. Netflix expects to maintain WB's current operations and built on its strengths, including theatrical film releases. Netflix says it will offer more choice and greater value for consumers, enhance studio capabilities, and create greater value for talent. Never in my entire world, when Netflix first came out and it was out there on those refrigerator type things like Blockbuster, would I've ever imagined that they would grow to be so big that they would be acquiring and buying Warner Brothers Discovery. What does this mean? Like, what's the ramifications? Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Is this Monopoly? Are we getting Looney Tunes? Like, are we... What's happening? So it reads here, transaction unites Warner Brothers' iconic franchises and story libraries with Netflix's leading entertainment service, creating an extraordinary offering for consumers. Netflix to maintain Warner Brothers' current operations. Blah, 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 blah. Let me get to the meat and bones. What does it mean, brother? The acquisition brings together two pioneering entertainment businesses, combining Netflix's innovation, global reach, and best-in-class streaming service with Warner Brothers' century-long legacy of world-class storytelling. Okay, beloved franchises, shows, and movies such as The Big Bang Theory, The Sopranos, Game of Thrones, The Wizard of Oz, and the DC Universe will join Netflix's extensive portfolio, including Wednesday, Money Heist, Bridgerton, Adolescence, Extraction, creating an extraordinary entertainment offering for audiences worldwide. So what you're telling me, basically, is that DC, that's the biggest one that I heard here. DC is going to be coming to Netflix, but also it sounds like Netflix is probably going to be up in their prices. Now that they've got a new catalog with them, oh man, Netflix is about to be as expensive as cable. We're going back. Netflix is a new cable. The combination will offer more choice, more opportunities, more value, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you've got the strengths and the assets of both of the companies, more choice and greater value for consumers. Okay, by adding that deep film and TV libraries and HBO Max programming, Netflix members will have even more high-quality titles for which to choose. This also allows Netflix to optimize its plans for consumers, enhancing viewing options and expanding access to content. Damn, they get access to the full HBO and HBO Max? Oh my God, that's a lot of content, bro. Is any of you guys boycotting Netflix? Because you're not going to be able to watch any TV at... Bro, imagine boycott Netflix, right? But like, you got like Stranger Things, like, nah, can't watch it. I don't need it. They're taking over everything. This is a little bit of a monopoly. Who are the competitors now? So we got Netflix, we have Disney, and I don't watch Disney, to be honest. I think I watch Disney just to watch some of the Disney shows and like But I think they just got The Simpsons, and they have a few of the, I think they have Marvel, right? But I don't know if they have something that's like long standing. They got Peacock. Okay, so there's Peacock, there's Prime. So there's still a bunch of other like services that offer shows for like, you know, other networks. But it feels like Netflix is like ahead like of the game by like a large margin. Like their library is massive. It's to the point where they take away certain of their shows that you can't watch. They'll be like, "It's only available for this month." Like, no, don't take it away. But their anime catalog, their Korean drama catalog, their documentary series, and they got stand-ups. Netflix literally has all of it. I sound like I'm selling it, right? But Netflix is literally the only one that I kind of use outside of Crunchyroll for anime because I'm a freaking weeb. So let's look at the timing. In June 2025, WBD announced plans to separate its streaming and studios and global networks divisions into two separate publicly companies. The separation is now expected to be completed in Q3 2026. Prior to the closing of this transaction, this newly separated public traded company holding the global networks division, Discovery Global, will include Premier Entertainment, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is kind of mumbo jumbo. The transaction expected to close in 12 to 18 months. So, huge, gigantic merger. Nothing that we're going to actually see happen for a while. It looks like it's not going to take place until 2026. But when it does occur, well, you can expect Netflix to basically own every single TV show, movie, and series on the planet. So why is this bad? I need to figure out. I know some of you guys like, Omni, this is bad news. I'm not saying it's good news, right? But there's a lot of people. Every time there's a news, there's somebody out there like, this is the reason why it's the end of the freaking world, bro. Okay, so let's figure it out. What's going on? Why is this bad news? So outside of the price probably skyrocketing, right? Whatever it is you're paying for Netflix, that joint gonna be way more expensive. Outside of that, this person had mentioned and said one singular mention of theatrical releases in this entire statement, and it's virtually a footnote. They're not even trying to hide it. They're going to kill the industry. People are suggesting that Netflix might be killing the movie industry because they're going to be releasing actual. I mean, you guys know there's a bunch of Netflix movies all of the time that appear. Netflix special, Netflix special, Netflix special. It's not in movie theaters. In fact, Stranger Things is a Netflix special that is now actually going to movies, right? But everybody's watching it at home, and I guess people are wondering if this is going to be destroying movies. I don't think anything destroys movies. Okay, we literally just got finished talking about how like Zootopia 2 is like literally one of the best movies of the year. It's getting released in Japan. It's got high box office sellings, but it's definitely in competition. It sounds like to me that the Netflix is just going to be making movies on both Netflix and, you know, the actual movie theaters. But it says here, Warner Brothers Studios are world class, with Warner Brothers recognized as a leading supplier of television titles and filmed entertainment. HBO and HBO Max also provide a compelling complementary offering for consumers. Netflix expects to maintain Warner Brothers' current operations and build on its strengths, including theatrical releases for films. Tweet here saying, me happy to watch the Batman Part 2 on Netflix day one. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. The Batman, do not have me sitting out here watching the sequel to the Batman and at home. I want to watch this at the movie theaters. Get out of my face with that nonsense. This person here saying Netflix, by far the largest streamer, absorbing HBO Max, which is the third largest, really should set off some monopoly alarm bells. Not to mention what this terrible news could be for movie theaters and physical media. There's the doom and gloom. That's what we're looking for. Thank you, gentlemen. Gentle doofus. Yeah, so monopoly, not good, because you guys know when there are less competitors, then the people who are in charge can charge you a lot more money. They have a lot more control over the consumers. You, as a consumer, have a lot less options when there is a monopoly, bro. Shout outs to my boys Nintendo. So I guess this could be bad. I mean, and also with the economy again, man, I just want to know how much it's going to cost. Also, it's not going to come out until Q4 2026. So we got time. I mean, but I don't know. I don't even watch a lot of TV. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I don't even watch a lot of Netflix anyway, to be honest. I feel like I'm like the type of person that doesn't watch a lot of like mainstream TV. I only start watching stuff when I'm bored, I got nothing to do. And even then, I've been trying to like read books, go outside, touch grass. Like, I don't know if y'all seen my library. Y'all seen that joint? You see all these books back there, bro? I got books on books on books on books. I've been reading books. You know what? And you know what? The thing about books is there's no subscriptions. It's no subscription service, and they're good. The problem though is that you got to have your attention span, right? The brain rot. That's what I've been doing. I've been unbrain rotting. Oh, we're going to a segment about me. I've been reading more books recently, right? Because I feel like, and I've been trying to do things that are not like so dopamine driven, you know, because I feel like I've been kind of like in a brain rot. You guys, the stuff that we do here, we talk about being on the internet. I have been in a perpetual space of never leaving it. I've been perpetually online, chronically online is what the people say it, all right? And the problem is not that like I'm constantly looking at it. It's more so that I don't think I'm ever cutting off that version of me. So like once I'm done with work, after I make this content for you guys, and I'm done, then I'll go back to being a normal person off work. And part of that is me still thinking about what I'm going to do for work the next day, right? And I'm still brain rot. I'm still Instagram reeling. I'm still looking at news. I'm still trying to figure out, still looking at these things, bro. It never cuts off. I think I need help. I think a lot of you guys at home who are artists or entrepreneurs or probably like, in the YouTube space or content creation, whatever, you feel me that when you don't have that like 8 to like 5 kind of thing, and this is not a comparison thing to say one's worse. I'm just talking about the effects of the brain where you can't just be like, all right, I am no longer working anymore. You could be working forever 24/7. And I feel like I've been doing that for a while, and that kind of led to my burnout type thing. So I'm trying to unwind it, and it's been successful. I have a lot more energy now. A lot of it has to do with doing things that you don't like with like, your short attention span that's been kind of destroying your brain. A lot of it has to do with doing things like reading. I know, right? Just opening a book slowly and reading word for word. And then when you have a question to something, not going to your phone, not Google, just literally trying to figure it out. It's like going back to the medieval times of the 2000s of just handling paper. I think escaping digital. Anyway, that's my rant over. That's also Warner Brothers as well, being acquired by Netflix. I'll let you guys, anything else new comes from it, but yeah, crazy times, baby, crazy times. All right, guys, this is also apparently big news that I actually don't kind of understand, but we are going to understand it together. Look at that. We're going to do some little investigative journalism ourselves. It's a big headline that a lot of people have been talking about that's been going over my head, that's going to be inside my head in a second. It reads, Micron, a major manufacturer of RAM chips, says it is exiting the consumer memory business and focusing on chips used in data centers / AI. Huh? What does that mean? What do you mean, brother? This comes amid a global memory supply shortage that has seen RAM prices quadruple in price. Okay, hold up. That went over my head. I'm going to say it one more time. Omni, you're stupid. Yes. You just now figuring that out? Okay. Micron, a major manufacturer of RAM chips. Okay, so Micron manufactures RAM chips. RAM is the chips. Those are the things that you do when you make your computer to make it go faster, I'm supposed, right? Says it is exiting the consumer memory business and focusing on chips used in data centers. So it's going to only be focusing on AI. This is a redistribution of Micron, who was initially working with RAM, and now they're just doing AI? Is that what is being said? Let me look into it. Let's research. Micron to exit consumer memory business amid global supply shortage. Okay, and it reads here, December 3rd, Reuters, memory chip maker Micron Technology said on Wednesday it will exit the consumer business as it doubles down on advanced memory chips used in artificial intelligence data centers. Okay, I just read this, right? Micron's move to dissolve its consumer business comes against a backdrop of worldwide strain in memory supply chains with tight availability of semiconductors ranging from flash chips used in smartphones to advanced high bandwidth memory or HBM employed in AI data centers. Bro, I'm an idiot. What do you mean? It will halt the sale of crucial unit consumers branded products as retailers, e-tailers, and distributors worldwide, but it will continue to product shipments through the consumer channel until February 2026, Micron said. The consumer memory unit is not an important driver of Micron's business, said Summit Insights analyst Kinigi-chan. Micron has long been... Kinigi-chan, hi, Nani Deski... Sorry. Micron has long been shifting focus to its HBM business, which has emerged as the most competitive area between the world's 3 largest memory suppliers, Micron and South Korea's. I'm not following. I need the idiot's guide to understanding this. So I found a Reddit thread that I'm just going to read off to you guys here. You're not going to see it on the screen, okay? But it's like, explain like I'm 5, okay? What's happening here? Number 1, there's a RAM shortage and Micron is in the top 3 producers. Okay, it says here they aren't stopping consumer RAM production as far as they know. They're just stopping direct sales through their brand. Crucial. You will still be able to buy Micron RAM through Corsair. Another person here said they're not shutting down production. Okay, they are basically just ending sales directly to consumers. So there are sales that you can make that are directly to consumers, and then there are sales that you can do when you're giving it out to businesses. Okay, so you and I, we would be consumers, but there are manufacturers that make chips for companies, and it doesn't go directly to a consumer. They've long been a popular option, and particularly in a time of highly inflated prices, losing a quality competitor is bad for consumers. Okay, someone here saying that's the key differentiator. They're ending consumer production and moving on to HBM or AI chips now. So that sounds like it's bad for people, us, you and I, the normal folks. If you're trying to get RAM, which I'm guessing is going to increase the prices since competition is now getting lower. Question mark, similar to what just happened with the Warner Brothers acquisition. We're kind of going to be having to pay more for Netflix. Is that kind of what's happening? Am I understanding this now, chat? Here's another person's explanation. Okay, along with Samsung and SK Hynix, Micron is one of the world's biggest DRAM producers, okay? They spent 30 years building up the Crucial brand to be one of the biggest names in consumer RAM and SSDs, okay? And they've just shut it down with almost no warning. The only reason for doing that is the brand having no future because Micron expects to have no DRAM to sell to the consumer market. It's all going to AI and data center customers. With Samsung and SK Hynix already contracted much of their capacity to OpenAI, that means there will be massive shortages of DRAM in the consumer market, not quote, oh shit, 64 gigabytes of RAM costs $1,000 level, but I can't get RAM anywhere for any price level. All right, so that's what it sounds like what's happening, okay? Consumers are suffering. I mean, you could have just told me that. Could have told you that a long time ago. We've been suffering for a really long time, bro. They know the market, the economy, consumers. For man, being a person right now, trying to operate in this economy is so wild. Because why does it always feel like things are just getting worse? Why are they never getting? I know about inflation. I know the concept of inflation, that the prices are supposed to go up, right? But why does it feel like ever since the whole boomer era, right? The parents and everything, they were buying houses for like $150K, and they had like 6 children, and they had like pensions. And why is it ever since all of that, it's just been like taken away. Why does it feel like difficulty mode for people who keep coming into this world just keep rising? What is going on? What is going on? What's going on? But yeah, looking underneath the tweet for the people who actually know what they're saying, and someone said who was going to make the RAM for consumer devices. So it looks like Samsung and SK Hynix are now basically the 2 big dogs when it comes to that market. When it still comes to consumers, direct to consumers, often feels like a short-sighted investor goals are more of a priority than producing a real tangible great product for consumers. This is a real dumb long-term decision. I don't know. I mean, again, everyone's been talking about how much money has been put into OpenAI, and again, they're everything, all the tech companies are pouring everything, all that they got. We talked about Suno, that company that literally just raised over their 2.4 billion valuation, I believe, and they raised $250 million in revenue. Like, that's where all the money's going. And that's where a lot of money is being generated. And I mean, I don't know. I don't feel good about it. Homie, because I feel like AI is way too fast. It's inflated. There's a bubble when it comes to the tech bubble that a lot of people have been talking about that they're worried is going to pop. You know, it could pop anytime soon, which can destroy the entire economy. But they're doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down. We have valuations for a lot of companies, specifically tech companies, that are in the 25 times. Like, so here's a valuation. Let's say you guys think I'm worth $100, right? Because I can produce $100 in revenue for a year. And he's like, oh, okay, this guy's worth $100, right? There are some investors who will look at companies and be like, nah, and then they only do this, but they're actually worth like to twice as much, or quadruple as much, or 10 times as much, or 50 times as much, right? So they kind of inflate the valuation of what they think a company might be. And when you inflate the valuation, then the company's worth is kind of shared in the market at that value, even though they might actually be fairly more priced right here tangibly, right? So based on forecasts, expectations, what they're going to be doing in the future, there's a lot to it. But the end all be all is that a lot of the tech companies are their times ratio, their multiplier is absolutely massive. And it's starting to kind of create a huge disproportion from what it is that they're doing versus what it is they feel like they're being valued at. And people, that bubble, that thing pops right here, that thing, because people are operating under this pretense, if that pops, then shit will hit the fan, bro. Everything, S&P, index funds, the market. Oh, my Lord. There are ways to win on that, by the way. I'll tell you guys about it later. That's the TLDR. Okay, so there's Micron, and then there's the company Crucial. They sell like SSDs and RAMs and stuff, right? They're going to be phasing out. They're no longer going to be selling to the market, which is going to be done in February 2026, where they're no longer going to be selling to consumers. And they are taking all of that energy to selling to consumers and reallocating all of that energy and those resources to basically making data centers and AI chips for AI. The reason why they're doing that is because AI is massive right now. Okay, so they're going to make a lot more on their bang for their buck and their margin if they redirect the time and energy to making money or to creating products for AI and data centers than it is for selling it to consumers, us, who are, a lot of them broke. And that's about it. If you're a computer or PC maker or you're kind of in that industry, then it sounds like the price for those things are going to go up because, again, if you take out a major competitor like Crucial, well, then it's going to go up because now you have more of a monopoly. They're redirecting their sources. They're not selling to consumers, so you have less people to buy from. That's Economy 101. So let me know what you guys think about this. It's kind of wild. I don't think it impacts me directly, but it still impacts all of us directly because we're going to be seeing major shifts. They've been happening like crazy. People are now taking away and stop making products for consumers, and they're more so putting all of their energy towards data centers and AI. That is basically not us. Those things are taking over our jobs. So yeah, that's where we are. Also in freaking ginormous news. Oh my Lord, worldwide, bro. Worldwide. I feel good too as well. I feel like I'm taking a break from like unemployed news. We probably got some unemployed news to talk about, but God, are y'all feeling a little bit happy that we not talking about Hassan? Actually, I heard there was something that happened with Hassan, another shot caller. No, I'm not over it yet. I like the drama. You know what it is? I'm rambling. I don't care. You're going to sit here. You want here for the ramble. I feel like I do like drama and tea, but I don't like just drama and tea. I think what makes news better, like not so doom and gloom or not so toxic or not so slop, right, is when you kind of dip your toes in the drama sauce, right? But then we come out and talk about some real shit, talk about some things some politics, a little bit, all right, let's for real, let's lock in, fellas. How is our lives being changed? What's the state of the world? Okay, and then let's go back into the tea. Nom, 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 nom. It's a little healthy temperance. I use you guys to look up that word. It's one of my favorite words for 2025, temperance. Anyway, it says here, CNN partners with Kalshi to integrate prediction markets into its global newsroom. CNN X Kalshi, the future of news. Oh my God. If you guys don't know what Kalshi is, you're about to find out. The first major news network to embrace Kalshi prediction markets, a new era of media is here. Trade on anything in all 50 states, politics, sports, entertainment, crypto, weather, and so much more. Gambling is legal everywhere. Okay. Remember when Pepperidge Farm remember when you had to go to Las Vegas to gamble? Okay. Remember gambling was just kind of when it comes to sports, when it comes to, what's that company called? DraftKings, a little bit more particular. No. Everybody can gamble now, and you can gamble on anything, bro. You can gamble on if it's going to snow outside. You can gamble I hit my hand. You can gamble on what the president's going to say. You can gamble on if there's going to be a World War III or not. Whatever you can think of, you can gamble. Whatever your mind can create. You can do it. The problem, though, from what I understand, I've learned a little bit about Kalshi as well, is that you're betting against the house, and it's not like you're betting against like each other. There was a article that I gotta find, and that might be something for a later time, maybe if we look into Kalshi. But yeah, I heard like there was some type of article where there's like you're betting against the house, and the house is kind of operated. It's not just you versus another user. It's never just us versus us. Someone is taking the wins and the cuts. They're profiting off of us losing money together. Which is funny because Drew Gooden actually just released a video that was really good. If you guys don't know Drew Gooden, he's a commentator on YouTube where he uploads like once a month. One of the OGs and has been doing it for quite a while, right? Just kind of talks about like things and has a lot of comedy as well. But yeah, he uploaded a video called Greed is Destroying the World. I watched that video. It was a very good video talking about what it's like being in 2025 and greed in these oligarchies. You got Jeff Bezos, you've got Elon Musk, you've got the Zuck, all right? You've got all of these big companies. And in the video, this is kind of like a pivot with Kalshi as well. Drew Gooden in this video, the greed, because it all ties together, is the fact that, yeah, if you have money, right? The past 5 years has been absolutely amazing for you. If you are invested into the S&P 500 and you've been investing or dollar cost averaging or pumping money into the market right now, year over year over the 5 years, you're doing excellent. Okay, so it's only good for people who currently have money. However, there's a lot of people who don't. There's a lot of people with debt. Okay, so they can't take money and put it towards their freaking investments because they have to pay off these absorbent amount of school loans that have been going up, or these credit cards or these debts that they have acquired that they needed in order to live, or maybe they made some mistakes as they were a kid. I was giving kids the option to basically go into $50,000 of debt at the age of 19 or 20 is absolutely wow. But yes, all right, it's really, really hard to break out of these streets. And then you have a lot of people who are working paycheck to paycheck. So let's say you don't have any debt, and let's say you don't have any investments. You don't have enough income to kind of cover your expenses because monthly expenses, the groceries are going up, rent is going up. You can't own a house, right? If you want to buy a house, the people who are buying houses nowadays are not people who are like us, 20s and the 30s and stuff. People in the 40s, 50s, 60s are buying houses, and the corporations and hedge funds, they're buying the houses. The amount of people who've bought a house at 30s and 40s, there's a lot of people who are unhappy with their purchase because they were so desperate that they ended up buying something they didn't want. So the point that I'm trying to make, as you guys can see, I have a lot to say about this. All right, is greed is destroying the world. I agree with Drew Gooden, and he made a lot of good points with it. I highly suggest that. And I think we're kind of seeing it now and bleed into with this whole thing with CNN and Kalshi. Okay, the fact that we are allowing legalized gambling and it's being broadcasted onto like your favorite news websites, bro, you guys do know that gambling is an addiction that a lot of people, I know, and I've been subjected to people who have had gambling. I have been a victim of people who are gambling addicts. And I'm sure some of you guys at home, this is pretty scary that we're just saying we're just going to bring this out into the full world. The world is changing. It's 2025. Gambling is legal. People are upset. Absolutely upset. It says Justin, Kalshi co-founder Luna Lopes-Lar becomes the youngest self-made female billionaire in history, surpassing Taylor Swift and Lucy Guo. Woo! She surpassed freaking Taylor Swift? Good Lord, bro. That's the power of the Keyblade. And then I mean the Kalshi, bro. Tarek Mansour, CEO of Kalshi, recently stated that the long-term version is to financialize everything and create a tradable asset out of any difference in opinion. People involved in such things should be disposed and ostracized, not celebrated as progressive icons. So everything is money. Everything can be monopolized. Everything can be gambled, bro. It's extraction. And I guess you know the question is you're saying like, hey, well, we have free will, right? So we could just choose not to do it. Yes, but also, okay, do you remember being young? Okay, when we were young, it's influence. So sometimes you just see Kalshi, you see somebody you're watching on Instagram and, oh, Kalshi, that sounds cool. Whoa, I'm going to download this app, put a couple dollars in, have fun. And hey, congratulations. Welcome to the gotcha vortex, except for everything is gotcha. Everything is gotcha. Kalshi is a prediction market. Their vision is to literally apply sports betting to everything, remaking the world and our lives into a casino of speculation. This is fundamentally dehumanizing and degenerate view of society. It must be stopped at all costs. You know what's so interesting is that even though this is something that seems dehumanizing and degenerate, I don't know why, but it feels in line with how humanity is supposed to progress. Question mark? It actually feels in line with the timeline that we are going to be doing, the dystopian future that we always talk about. Did you see in animes and shows? It's like we've seen dystopian futures and then we see the outcome of dystopian futures based on what we've been reading and everything. And it's kind of like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Trial by error. Let's see what it's like in real life and do it. And then kind of in there, it feels like we're actually feeding into the narrative and we're chasing it. And to be honest, it kind of makes sense that this is where we are. It's getting weird around the entire world as well. We're getting, again, I think we've talked about this, you and I, when it comes to privacy concerns. And, everyone using the whole save the kids moment in different countries. I heard Australia is getting rid of social media for kids who are younger than 16. Like the way that they're trying to censor, the war on censorship around the world, all of these things, the financialized, all of these small things kind of by themselves, one for one, don't feel like maybe nothing, or maybe it feels like something. But when you take it all into a culmination, right? What we're creating is a generation of people that are going to, it feels like an elimination of the middle class. All right. You're either poor or you're rich. You're using crazy amount of debt, or you have generational wealth. That feels like that's the divide, in my opinion, is what's being trying to be created. And then also you have like control and power influences when it comes to the government controlling the narrative. You have AI shaping what you can see and what you cannot see. You have algorithms that you do not understand. It's the humans, the regular people are being pushed into smaller and smaller circles, invisible barriers that they can't even see. And they're being milked, bro. And it's the Matrix. I know I sound like a conspiracy theory. I'm not. I'm so educated in a lot of these topics. I have a business degree, okay? And I've been obsessed with kind of learning these things over time. So if it sounds kind of weird, alarmist, relax, okay? There's things to do, but I see the big picture, and I've been paying attention for quite some time, bro. It's one of those things where you usually don't talk about it unless it gets really, really bad. And for the past 5 years, I feel like things have been getting worse. Here's a quick conversation, a clip with the co-founder of Kalshi, talking about Kalshi.
Tarek, you've mentioned multiple times that you think prediction markets will be bigger than the stock market. What is it going to take to become a $1 trillion asset class?
It's pretty much already like a close to 100 billion a year asset class, right? Like, it's pretty easy to imagine a 10x from here. Like, we haven't even started. It's been a year. I think a very large number of people care, much larger than traditional markets. And I think retail as a pie has just been growing in the US, and I think it's going to keep growing. It's growing in the stock market, but it's growing outside of the stock market. The long-term vision is to financialize everything and create a tradable asset out of any difference in opinion. And I think if you do build a general purpose exchange that can resolve differences of opinions on anything, like, the TAM is quite massive, quite a bit bigger than the current TAM of the stock market. I think putting aside sort of the retail trading and the institutional trading product, like, there's sort of this separate product, which is like, we are living in a world where, like, we have an abundance of information, but there's a lot of noise, and, like, we don't really understand what's real from what's not. And prediction markets are an antidote to that. They do a very, very good job at distilling information and surfacing truth to people. And you're seeing this sort of massive shift where, like, people are using them whenever they think about questions about the future, whenever they're debating about anything. And I think that trajectory is going to keep going. That's a new consumer habit that I don't think is going to be undone.
All right. So they're essentially, again, like we keep saying, they're tapping into the concept. They keep calling it a prediction market. Okay, which is still gambling. It's a fancy way of saying that people are trying to guess the future, and people have been hedging the bets of guessing the future when it comes to gambling for quite a while. We're just not expanding it to every aspect of our lives. This person here said, to be clear, financialize everything means that they want to find ways to generate revenue without creating anything tangible or useful. They want to profit without producing anything. That means you will somehow end up in debt, right? So yeah, that's the thing, right? When we're talking about this product, what is it that they are actually getting money from? They're getting money from people who make revenue, and they usually make revenue by doing services or creating goods. Okay. They take the money from people who are doing services or making goods, and then they put it into this vacuum called Kalshi, where they then bet on what's called prediction markets. Okay. So now you have an economic system called prediction markets. The difference between the prediction markets and, like, the stock market, for example, is that when you put your money into the stock market, you put your money into a security. You're investing into a business, and this specific business, depending on which one you invest in, is something that creates services and goods. Okay. But Kalshi is not a security. You're not putting money into a human-made thing that people are creating that then creates more things. You're putting money into a concept. You're putting money into the air. and then the air is circulating, and maybe you get some of it back, and then it recirculates and redistributes to people. But Kalshi is going to absorb the majority of that cost. That's a major difference between like Kalshi, the prediction market, and the stock market. So yeah, CNN, Kalshi, they're merging. I'm gonna end this specific segment with this Drew Gooden clip that's been playing around talking about the greed that's happening right now.
To wonder if we've finally reached a point now where the greed has gone too far, that it's now so impossible to ignore that no amount of gaslighting about how the economy is good actually will convince people who are dying because they can't afford to go to the doctor that this is just how life should be. History shows that unfortunately sometimes things have to get worse before they can get better, and if this is what it takes for a return to class solidarity, then I guess at least we're closer to that than we've been in a long time. We just need to put down our phones, set aside our differences for a little bit, and unite on this one issue. They want us divided because they're afraid of how strong we would be if we stood together. Do not fall for it.
I've been saying this. Oh my, I've literally been spitting. What is in the air? What is in the air? I've literally been playing that ants clip on stream, talking about like how like if you're a puny ant, what's puny ants, and then shooting the. Okay, I'm just talking. You guys know what I'm talking about. There's an ants clip, and the guy's talking about we need to rise up and destroy all these puny ants. Essentially, the problem was that they're very good at dividing. They're very good. I don't know how we unite. I really don't know how we unite. To be honest, I really haven't figured that part of the thing, but I do agree with him that things have to get worse before it gets better. And I feel like when it comes to the age of AI, this capitalism, Kalshi, all of this is leading into a direction where I feel like it's going to get worse for a lot of people. It's going to get really good for the capitalists, for the people with the money, the people that are creating and capitalizing. It's going to get really good. If you're on the other end of this, man, oh man, you're making bang, ha ha ha, all the way to the freaking bang. But for the most common people, man, I don't know. Education and understanding what's happening and then sharing that education and trying to teach as many people, I think is one of the biggest powers that we have, because there's a lot of people who don't even recognize how they are being manipulated or being controlled. They don't understand that they are victims of capitalism. They just do not understand it. And education is so important. And then once you even have the education, then the question is, do you have the capability, right? Do you have the ability to change? Do you have the ability to unite? Do you know how to? So it's, man, oh man, guys. I'm gonna say this to you guys once, and then I'm gonna say it again every single time. Okay, guys, move carefully out on these streets. These streets are not safe. All right, don't be spending crazy amounts of money that you don't have, man. Bunker down. And I'm not saying bunker down for an apocalypse. I'm saying tighten up. Tighten up. All right, you spending too much on Uber Eats, bro. Tighten up, bro. Okay, the money that you spending, money that doesn't go. Tighten up for a little bit. All right. I'm telling you to get ready for get ready. Tighten up. And then once you've tightened it up enough and you created emergency savings, right? You've got investments, you've gotten rid of debt. Once you've kind of set yourself in a place where you can, what you want to create is called a margin of error or a margin of safety. All right. You want, and the margin of safety and error is getting bigger and bigger by the day. You want to prepare for the worst. You want to kind of be building and gathering resources. You know how like farmers or people or villages, and they start stacking up on food and crops and shelter and things. They just start hoarding it and figure out ways to preserve it. Back in the time, we wouldn't be doing that at a modern version of 2025. Tighten up. All right. I'm not telling you to go out there and become Warren Buffett and invest millions and millions of dollars into some S&P or something like that. I'm saying like create budgets, right? Stop spending so much on Uber Eats. Start learning how to cook. Okay. When you cook, start eating some basic shit like eggs, chicken, rice. Poor man's diet, you can call it whatever, but just start eating and cooking, saving money, budgeting. All right, not spending money on things. If you got a credit card and you can't stop shopping on Amazon, stop giving these niggas your money. Stop. Learn how to appreciate what you currently have and start selling things and get rid of things that you don't need and stop. Like, just buckle, tighten up. That's all I'm trying to communicate. If it's so that you can be prepared. And then once you've created that, okay, I'm prepared. I got that margin for safety, Omni. Now what? Then do whatever the hell you want. You're good, okay? You're ready for the future dystopian future. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. If you made it to the end, hey, tell me how you feel about this video. If you watched yesterday's video and you watched today's video, you should probably feel like two types of energies. And if you didn't watch yesterday's video, then go watch it because it's a different type of video. You should just do it. do it. Why are you not watching my content in the first place? Okay. I'm still playing with a lot of things. I'm not going to explain what it is or why. All right. I just want to see how you guys feel. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Leave a like, subscribe if you guys haven't already. Share me with your friends and family. You know, but hey, this is Omni. He's the coolest black guy in town. Okay. Let your friends know about me and tell them I love you guys. Yeah, take it easy. Stay safe on these streets because these streets are not safe. And yes, I don't know why I'm talking so fast. All right. Bye.